One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Just so many hours you spent on the phone, I wasted here loving you. Now you gonna tell me that you're on your own, you're leaving me sad and blue. Just so many days you've been on my mind, you been stop trouble on down the line. Fool if I go, fool if I stay, tell you what I'm gonna do. Tell you what I'm gonna do. Tell you what I'm gonna do. Let it roll, let it glide, let it fall.
And howdy. This being episode number 21. What did we just say? We just went over this.
22.
Episode 22 of the Clay and Woodrow Show. Right off the bat, Woodrow has sent in some notes for the show today, but he is not in-house today. Woodrow is going to the back of the old Casa de Thomas area there, and we've got a lot of water back in our hunting area, and he, as a Labrador Retriever, is eating that up. So he's running back there. It's warming up a little bit. So he came home last night soaking wet, and when he finally dried off, we went to let him inside, and he smelled horrendous. So Woody is in social isolation today.
A little bit of social distancing.
Yeah, it's social distancing is taking place, and that dog is never actually in a dog kennel. He doesn't even know what that feels, but today he's actually in a dog kennel, and so I don't think that set very well with him, but he smelled to high heavens. But we welcome you to the 17th floor of the Trellis Carpenter Building, this in the Timmy Tooper Studios, and we've got a big moment today. We actually have our first, where's my kazoo? We actually have our first paid sponsorship. Now, to that end, Mr. Producer, it was actually you that snagged this sponsorship, so I want to give you credit. Would you please introduce? Boop, boop. Am I right?
Yes,
that's
right on.
So you snagged this sponsorship with friends of mine as well. If you could just tell a little bit about the business that is our sponsor today.
So, Bubblegum Meg.
Bubblegum Meg.
Which is not what you might think it is, which is bubblegum.
That is correct.
But her products look like bubblegum.
Ah.
Little bracelets and
CSX.
And,
can you will our friends at home be able to hear that? Probably.
I think they'll get a little bit of it.
CSX is interrupting our commercial. Please go ahead, Mr. Producer.
No respect.
That's right.
So Bubblegum Meg it's got some like little bracelets and necklaces for kids.
Mm-hmm.
And probably could be adults too.
That as well. And so, and this is probably why we don't have paid advertisement, because we're doing such a poor job. At least of butchering this up. But now she also does other things as well, because I know she does stuff for my wife all the time. Like, what does she do for my wife, Mr. Producer?
It's got to be like
jewelry, other kind of jewelry as well.
Jewelry, kids' clothes.
That's right.
That sort of thing.
Yeah, I don't know that we're buying a bunch of kids' clothes, but anyhow, and sweet person. But I think because I think I'm going to be able to wear some of the jewelry in weeks to come.
Well, she's very well. She's very she's very talented. Very crafty. I would say
that is correct. And I will say we'll be able to have some of this on display in weeks to come for our audience members to see. But we are very thankful for this, our first full-time sponsorship. And so does she have a Facebook page or something like that people can go to?
Yeah, it's find me on Facebook. Meg made it /
yeah. Meg, whatever.
Bubblegum Meg.
Yeah, whatever you're paying for this advertisement, we're probably giving you half of it back. But you can find her on Facebook.
On Facebook, that's the main main point of contact.
Yeah, and so very, very nice of her to sponsor us, and we are very appreciative. I feel like I should say something like, how you say, I'm a customer, so I wear her jewelry all the time, and I get compliments about it all over town.
That's right.
That's right. Okay, so this moving forward. With what we're dealing with, obviously everybody, I think our news point is all at the same place. I think our hearts and minds are all at the same place. I think we kind of know where this episode is going to go. I think when you pick up your handheld device, your computer, your internet, whatever the thing is, when you turn to that main screen, we're all thinking the same exact thing.
Yeah, and I don't really know how we can avoid it.
Yeah, there's one topic on my mind.
Just one.
So, and I'm reading just an article right here, but the International Olympic Committee has agreed to add surfing to the Olympic Games in Tokyo in 2020. I think that was what was on all of our minds.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So let's unpack this for just a little bit. So these things become kind of cumbersome if you ever have an Olympic Games that is not near. Am I wrong about this? Would you not need large bodies of waters, often called oceans, in order to have these games? Or are they going to do the pools now where the waves are artificially generated? If so, I'm out. I'm out on that. I want shark-infested waters. I want it to be the real thing. I want it to be like Jekyll Island, where a wave comes once every decade. I want those men out there and women out there on their boards for hours upon hours looking for a singular wave on the Georgia coast. So this seems to me to be logistically going to be very difficult to have. But, they do whitewater rafting. They do other things. I'm sure they have, figured all of this out. I think the Olympic Games, other than what was the place that was just absolutely, what was it, Brazil that they had just a little?
Yeah, that was.
And the actual water was contaminated. That might not have been our best Olympic Games, but I think they're going to figure this out. But I am very, very, I'm a big follower, as you can tell, and I'm sure you're not, a big following of surfing and it being added to the Olympic Games the same year that skateboarding has been added. And I'm not so certain that in 2024 hopscotch is not going to be added to the Olympic Games.
I don't know why it shouldn't.
Yeah, so we've got surfing and we got skateboarding.
It would be good.
What's Twiddlywinks?
Pickleball.
Now we're talking.
That would be huge.
Yeah. Now that's a cause that you and I could get behind.
Yeah.
Because we're big supporters, avid supporters of pickleball. So we know that that's what you guys are following very carefully as we have updates on the Olympic Games adding surfing to the games in Tokyo. Now, under news not as great a significance, but something that occasionally people are following, my understanding is there is a somewhat of a pandemic that is going out and going around. And so we might cover that just a little bit as we maybe dissect things that are going on, because it's what we need more than anything. We need some more experts to weigh in on this episode.
That's right.
Because there's not enough experts, on the matter. But so, Mr. Producer, God bless people's hearts. but I love it when, your kind of local Facebook folks, they will spend, time, so I'm not an expert. I'm not an expert on anything at all. Certainly I'm not an expert on epidemiology, but locally we've got plenty of experts, and they will read a CDC article and then break it down for me as if I'm not capable to read the CDC. So, hey, what I'm calling for is we need more experts now more than ever.
Yes.
We need more, because what we have is really a lack of information, because when you pull up your social media and your web and all that kind of, you can barely find an article to read. So what I need is more local people to tell me how to decipher all of this information. So I'm looking for more experts. If they could, please, if they could please come through. Now, these folks are not even qualified to do their own taxes, which I'm not either, because I'm not an expert.
Right.
But these folks do not mind telling you play by play how this epidemiology crisis is going to unfold. They can't do their taxes. I doubt they can do their own laundry. They have no expertise whatsoever, me included. But epidemiology, they got it. They got it figured out. Okay, they are experts. Even weather, they're just like, I don't know anything about weather. I'm not a weatherman. But overnight, epidemiology is different. Yeah. I've got all of this. I've got this figured out. So I'm appreciative of all the experts that we have out there. Other things that I think that we need more of during this is it seems like we're going to have some critical family time together.
That's right.
And there are some articles that are suggesting that this may not be all bad, that me spending more time with my family. And so even just last evening was a little unusual because we're following protocols for the most part. We're not going out and doing those kind of things. So we actually had to communicate with one another. So like my family, I don't know if you know this or not, my wife's a school teacher. I talked with her last night.
Really?
And for about 20 something years.
Wow.
She's been a school teacher this whole time. And now that we've had time to sit down and talk, I am finding out more and more and more things about her. From what I understand, born and raised in Southwest Georgia. Last night we had time to kind of unravel this kind of stuff. And so this family time, I don't know. So I am doing something with my family that we are actually going to have classroom, but I'm going to teach them about stuff that the school system, to be honest with you, the school system is not qualified to teach my children about, because I'm more qualified to teach. And it's going to be things like rock and roll of the 70s. I'm going to cover that with them. I would like to cover with them, like, how does banking and finance work and supply and demand? Now, the school, I'm sure, is qualified to do that kind of stuff. Now, I should be saying things like, and I'm going to teach them to go out and change a tire, that kind of thing. That's what we're going to do. Well, I may not be your guy for it. You call Brett Miller. You tell him to come change your tire. That's so. But I'm going to teach them things that need to be taught, but the school's busy teaching other things. So I'm going to teach them very critical things that they should, just know about life. And so I'm going to take that on as a project. Any things that you think that we should be teaching our kids when we got this family time together? Anything that you might think would be beneficial for your kids?
Car maintenance. Is always good.
Yeah, there's things like that we could do, which I can't teach anything about. I'm not the right guy for car maintenance.
Why not experiment though? Just drain your oil.
Yeah, no, that's not a good idea. That's not a good idea. But I will say, but I do want to teach them just about like practical things in like how does the stock market work and all that kind of stuff. We'll have that kind of thing. Like, what's the better band, Nirvana or Pearl Jam? I think we need to have one whole night dedicated
definitely
to that discussion.
You have not already covered that already?
I'm a Pearl Jam guy, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean,
all the way.
I'm Pearl Jam from the start, man. But kind of go through those kind of things. I want us to go through. Led Zeppelin would really be at a top list of the list, but at the end of the day, all of their music is stolen. So you have to kind of ding them for some points for that. So we're going to have these lessons at night. Like, I want to take them back to television shows of my youth and pull them up and make them watch those kind of things, like Growing Pains, The Dukes of Hazzard, Love Boat, that kind of stuff.
Sure.
We might do some of that as well. That Love Boat, certainly that should be taught in the school system. That's not being covered. So we're going to have more experts. We need more experts, desperately need more experts. Then we're going to, unfortunately, it looks like we're going to have family time together.
Your family's going to be so lucky.
Yeah, that's right. And then here's the thing that I do want to address is the people that think, there's these whole people, are we reacting appropriately? Are we underreacting? Are we overreacting? And the fact of the matter is nobody knows the answer to that. We might tell over time, but I think for the most part, the safe answer is at the end of the day, we're all doing the best we can to figure this kind of thing out, and we just leave it at this. But the thing that does puzzle me is the people that says that all of the reaction stems from political correctness. Which is, to me, I know that political correctness thing is thrown around a whole bunch, but I don't know if these guys know it, but the board of directors at Augusta National, they don't care about political correctness. I mean, they might create it and control political correctness, but they don't care about it.
Right. They
care about one thing, and that's money. Mm-hmm. And they didn't cancel the Masters because of political correctness, I can promise you.
No.
The Wynn brothers, who own all of the casinos, for the most part, not all of them, but they own a ton of casinos in Las Vegas. I don't think they sat down in a boardroom and said, you know what, I'm worried to death about political correctness.
Yeah,
I think they like to hear slot machines going off 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's what they're concerned with. So I don't think they shut down over political correctness. I think there's a little bit more to it than that. But I don't know, because I'm not an expert. But if I open up that window, the 17th floor of the Trellis Car, and I just shout out this question, there'll be 5 or 6 people just walking around down here in our grounds of the building. They'll be able to answer that question because we got experts.
Experts walking by the building.
Yeah. Just shout out the window right now, and we will have experts, epidemiology experts, right here at our fingertips. So I thought what we could do today is just maybe now just steer away from the topic altogether. And we want to go through something where we can, Woodrow had this idea, and he left it with you, Mr. Producer, in an email. We would just want to leave things on a little better note. We want to be a little bit more uplifting. Mm-hmm. And so what was Woodrow's suggestion that we work on today?
So he's come up with a new segment called Woodrow's Superlatives.
Okay, Woodrow's superlative. So,
Yeah.
Mr. Producer, when I stop and act as if I'm not acting, I actually have to text somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Don't stop on me like that. You've got to keep you got to keep trucking on.
So he came up with this a way to uplift people that that are
That's
fans.
That's you just have to
People we
repeat the
know.
last statement you just made. That's perfect. That's
And
good.
and just an uplifting segment instead of all this.
Woodrow's superlative. So, like your end of the year when you find out the superlatives at your high school or your yearbook, we're going to give some local superlatives.
Yeah.
So we want to. This is something to be uplifting that we can bring joy to other people.
Yeah, so
I like that. I like this idea.
So assign some people to these categories.
These superlatives. And
So,
yeah.
are you ready?
I'm ready. And so these are superlatives you're going to ask me about, and I'm going to act as if I don't have a predetermined answer.
Correct.
Although I might from time to time occasionally sneak down to the paper that's right here under the microphone. Something like that.
Yeah, but we know you do that out of habit, not
Just out of
not
habit.
because you've got
Not
anything
because I
written
have
down.
predetermined notes on these kind of things. Okay.
So first on our list is most popular.
Do I have that on my list? Oh, I don't, but it's just come to me. I just feel like we have to mention them every segment. But it's Brett and Christy Miller, the most popular kid. They're the cool kids. When I'm trying to get to the cool kids table, which by the way, I'm not that kind of material. I'm not that kind of guy. I'm sitting over with the dorks. They're just trying to figure out life. I'm looking over at that cool kids table, and you know who's there? Brett and Christy
Brett and
Miller.
Christy.
Now, to their credit, unlike a lot of cool kids, they are welcoming to any and all of us that want to come sit at their table. Bless their hearts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're at the cool kids table, but they don't behave that way. They don't behave like the cool kids typically do. They're very open to any and all to come sit at their table. I'm just not cool enough to pull it off yet. That my fault, not theirs. Christy and Brett Miller.
Yeah. Good choice.
Thank you, sir. Slam dunk.
Most kind.
So this would be kind of a list of people. So I want to start this off kind of in a way as well, but kind of posthumously. Am I saying that correctly?
Yeesh.
In other words, these folks have gone on to, they're deceased.
Yeah.
But most kind, is that what it is?
Most kind.
So I'm going to put posthumously, and I think I'm saying that correctly, but that sounds like I am butchering that word. Are you looking up something to help me with that?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I'm saying that wrong. And forgive me. At the end of the day, I'm public school educated. I'm doing the best I can. But I think I'm going to say those that have gone on to glory. I want to first mention two people, Paul Tang and Kenny McCarthy.
Oh, wow.
So I would put those. Good night. I'd put those two. I'd put those two at the top of my list. So Paul Tang, Kenny McCarthy. But as far as here with us, I've got the note of, I don't know if you'll know these folks. Willie Character. I would put him in the running for that.
I do.
Toby Cruz. I would also put him. I don't know if you know Chad Henley. Chad Henley, I would put in the also receiving votes. Love me some Chad Henley. Mm-hmm. Once again, are we at kind or most generous?
We are at kind.
We'll just call them the same things.
Let's just
okay.
combine
We're just
the
gonna run
two.
them all together. If I'm combining the two, Lamar Christie, I would put him on that list as well.
Good guy.
Michael D'Ambrosio. I feel the same thing about him with just being kind. And you know what? I just realized I don't have a ton of diversity. It seems like that's all guys, and for the most part, guys aren't nice people. So I don't. So let me think of some people that are very, very. Come back from a female list of folks that are kind and very generous.
Okay.
What's next on our list?
Most uplifting.
I think I just used all of those. I'll tell you something. So let me do some females on that side of things. don't even necessarily know this person particularly well. I've always been amazed by the generosity and being willing to like work, not just cut a check, but like work, like sweat equity. Linda Booker. I would put her at the top of my list. Like she does not mind getting her hand dirty, in the community, making sure that people are taken care of.
Yeah.
So I'll throw Linda Booker in there because I also, me, I believe in some diversity. So Linda Booker. You know what? I'm touching my face. You're supposed to. That's a no-no.
Yeah.
I touch my face all the time. I've never realized it until this year. But we're not talking about the coronavirus.
No.
We're talking about superlatives.
We are talking about touching your face.
Yes, I did just do that. Yes. What's next on your list?
Funniest.
I am a snob about humor. There's a certain kind of humors that like easy humor. I'm not a big fan of. Like I like some little bizarre humor. So there's a guy that's high on my humor list, but I think you would have to. It's like kind of like oysters. Like either people are going to like it. Or not. I'm a big Scott Thigpen fan. His humor, I think it is. I think I really like Scott. Now, I think because of his humor and how the old expression, there's a time and place for everything. I don't know that Scott's quite got that figured out yet. So I think there are possibly some people that might want to strangle him, dude. But I'm not one of those. Yeah, I love me some Scott Thigpen humor. I find him to be a very funny guy. So Scott Thigpen would make my list.
Okay. Class clown.
That's Jackson Hobbs.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's not even debatable. There's nobody else on the list. That's Jackson Hobbs. You know what? I will say this. I'm gonna give Stuart Stipe some also receiving votes. Now he's not in the Jackson Hobbs type category because nobody is. But I'd give old Stu some points in there. He's slowed down a little bit. His wife, Summer Stipe, who Stipe Clough Field at Baptist Village is named out, where Clemson plays. Yeah. That's Summer's husband. But Stewart could still fit the class clown ranks a little bit. I would go with Stewart.
Okay. What about most athletic?
Now I can't include myself in any of these, obviously.
Right. That wouldn't be fair.
That wouldn't be fair. You know what? A guy that's still kind of amazing. He's one of these guys that even as an adult, anything he touches, he's just, he's successful. Ben Bennett over in Blackshear. Mm-hmm. He's just like, I'm the best golfer in town. Now, Ben would never say that, but he was. And then he's like, but now I'm tired of golf, so let me go try triathlons. And guess what he is now? He's the best triathlete in town. Wow. Then he's like, well, I don't like doing if he did ping pong, he'd be the best ping pong player in town. Ben Bennett. Most athletic. Nice guy too, by the way. I'll give him points for he might be best all around because he would be kind and generous and all those kind of things. But Ben Bennett, super athletic. So I give, it's one thing just say I'm a great runner, but that's all you do is run. Yeah. Which, by the way, I'm not knocking that because I can't barely walk to the refrigerator. But anything he touches, he's still at his age, which he's a little older than me, but not a whole bunch. Super athlete, good athlete. So I'll give that to Ben Bennett.
That's all I got.
That's all you've got?
That rounds my list out.
Okay. So I'm still worried that I was not very diverse in nice, kind, gentle ladies. So I need to give that a little bit more. Oh, I'll tell you somebody to me. Hey, yeah. Cecilia Mincy just came to me off the charts. Not one of the nicest ladies. Sweet lady. Does not have Facebook. Will never hear this whatsoever. But Cecilia, and I think the community could kind of get behind that kind. But Cecilia Mincy, super sweet lady. I would give her high marks on that as well. Any you seem like an expert. Any coronavirus type of expertise that you would like to at your core, you're like, Clay, I get it, but there is still something that's just killing me. I want to say. I'm giving you a free pass. What is that you would like to say?
I'd like, in response to this coronavirus, I would like to see more people embrace the beard.
Oh.
I think there's probably some merit behind that. I
don't know that the CDC has just come out suggesting that we should shave all facial hair. Have you seen that?
Yeah, but I thought I was the expert here.
That is true. who cares what the CDC thinks? We have local experts,
Local
on,
experts.
on Facebook.
Let that beard go.
Yeah.
Put your razors down.
Yeah. If there's one more toilet paper joke, I'm jumping.
And stop it with the toilet. Yeah.
Listen,
stop.
it's not hard to listen. Should I explain to people the economics of why the toilet paper went away, or is it, we need to just say that for another day? But it's just like gas shortages. A shortage can be created when a shortage occurs because people perceive that there will be a shortage.
Yes.
That doesn't mean that there is a shortage.
Self-fulfilled prophecy.
Self-fulfilled prophecy is kind of what that, occurred. And then people were also saying, well, but if I am stuck inside and they're asking me to not go out a whole bunch, what are the first, and past Campbell's soup and water that still come out, the first thing that comes to everybody's mind is toilet paper. People weren't buying toilet paper because they thought that the virus would create situations in which they needed toilet paper. They just were under the impression they may not be able to get to their stores as frequently as possible.
Yes.
It's self-fulfilled. Everybody settle down. There's going to be plenty of toilet paper. In our own industrial park, we have a toilet paper producing company, so we can go out there and just buy it direct. We don't have to go retail. Yeah. I don't know that people know that place exists. I think it still does. So we're going to be fine on toilet paper. Everybody, I'm going to be the expert on toilet paper.
I think that's
that's not CDC. That's not epidemic. That's just supply and demand. Everything's going to be fine on toilet paper. And if you run short on toilet paper, here's the other joke that I'm getting sick of, because people, if it's not creative, don't just go get. There's still Florida Gator T-shirts at Walmart that you can buy. Okay.
Yeah.
The first time I saw that, it was funny.
Yeah.
Now that meme's come up now 475 times, I'm like, yeah.
And they've worked other teams in.
Yeah, we've already worked that situation. So, in conclusion for today, in summary, I believe surfing is going to be difficult to pull off as an Olympic sport, but I look forward to seeing it. And I think we've got to relax about the TP epidemic that is going on. I will see. I saw a funny meme the other day. I like more dark humor. But somebody had rolled an Indian's tent, and it just said at the top of it, redundancy. Do you get it? They TP to TP. That, to me, that's funny. Yeah. Okay, that's good humor there. That's redundancy. And then other things, just congratulations to our superlatives. And just look in the back of our yearbook. You'll be pictured there. We're very proud of you. And then Blake James, come pick up your Outback card. Man, I want a $100 Outback card. I don't even know these. No, it's still right here. Blake James not even come by, and he just had an anniversary. And nothing says romance like Bloomin' Onion.
That's right.
And Blake James still not even come by. So if you know Blake James, which I've already contacted Blake James, he's a good cat. He's a busy man. He hadn't come by. He's social distancing is what he's doing. And then our last thing, our point number 5 is experts. We need to hear from you. Because what we have here is a lack of information from people that never even had an encyclopedia set growing up, but overnight have become epidemiologists.
But what did Einstein do? He was not a physicist. That was not his day job, correct?
And I'm not sure about that, but you're suggesting we might have some Einsteins amongst us.
I know for a fact we do.
We didn't
Facebook tells me
that there are some people with some expertise and
genius.
Yes,
genius.
Yes, and some expertise in epidemiology and the global economy. Those people too, just coming outside. Just
feel free to weigh in the comments.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And so now these same people, many of who I went to high school, with the quadratic formula, would run them in circles. But epidemiology experts within 24 hours, you better believe it.
Yeah,
they're on top of it. So parallel park, no, they cannot. But within 24 hours, they can explain to you everything that you and your family need to do in response to a pandemic. We've got them. The experts are here, and we thank you. We thank you for bringing us the information that apparently the CDC just fails to bring. The people that have studied this for just decades of their life, and they probably don't know what they're talking about. But thankfully, we have our own local experts to help us navigate through these very difficult waters.
That's right.
And we are thankful. That's summary number 5. You guys have a fantastic week. And we don't call it social isolation. What is it? Social distancing. And congratulations to all of you people that are doing your social distancing correctly. We certainly, that seems like to be a reasonable thing to do. But once again, that's kind of what the CDC is telling us to do. So perhaps we should listen to those guys. So you guys have a fantastic week. And if you don't mind, just share this episode number 22 of the Clay and Woodrow Show. Have a good day.
On the side, let her go.